The warning, unheeded Admiral Kethfer stood on the command bridge of the Nexari flagship Stellar Dominion, his forearms crossed behind his back as he gazed at the holographic display showing the largest invasion fleet in galactic history. 1,000 ships stretched across the void, their hulls gleaming with the promise of conquest. The Nexari Empire had crushed 847 worlds in their expansion across the galaxy, and today would mark number 848. The target world rotated slowly in the tactical display, a blue and green marble that looked almost peaceful from this distance. Solthry, or as the native inhabitants called it, Earth. The intelligence reports had been promising. Fragmented nations, primitive technology, no unified planetary defense. It should be over in hours. Admiral, came a voice from behind him. Kethfer turned to see Intelligence Officer Zara, a young Nexari with the nervous energy of someone who had spent too much time reading classified files. Her scales were pale, almost translucent, a sign of stress in their species. "What is it, Zara?" Kethfer's voice carried the weight of authority earned through centuries of successful campaigns. "Sir, I've been reviewing the planetary classification. Files for Earth. There's something you need to see." She activated her portable display, and a red warning symbol appeared, pulsing ominously. Kethfer read the classification and laughed, a sound like grinding stone. Class 15 Deathworld. The intelligence division must have made an error. "Look at it." He gestured to the peaceful planet below. White clouds, blue oceans, green continents. It's practically a paradise world. Zara's nervousness increased. "Sir, that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. The classification isn't about how it looks. It's about the life that evolved there." She pulled up a series of files. Earth's gravity is 1.3 times galactic standard. The atmosphere has 21% oxygen, which makes everything highly flammable. The weather systems are chaotic and violent, and the native species are primitives with chemical rockets. Kethfer interrupted. "I've seen the reports. They can't even achieve faster than light travel. But sir, they don't need to." Zara's voice grew more urgent. "They evolved on that world. They're adapted to it. Look at this footage." The display showed a human city being battered by a massive storm, winds that would tear apart most galactic species. But the humans were outside, some actually appearing to enjoy the chaos. Children were playing in the flooding streets. Adults were taking pictures of the lightning strikes. "This can't be real," Kethfer muttered. "It gets worse." Zara switched to another feed. "This is from their earthquake phenomenon. The ground literally shakes and breaks apart." The footage showed humans calmly continuing their daily activities. As buildings swayed around them, some were laughing. One human was making a meal while dishes rattled off the shelves. "They're insane," whispered Commander Vex Kethfer, second in command. "Or perfectly sane for their environment," Zara corrected. "Sir, they've domesticated predators that could kill most galactic species. They voluntarily jump out of aircraft for entertainment. They set their food on fire before eating it. They've turned survival into recreation." Kethfer felt a chill run down his spine, but his pride wouldn't let him show weakness. "Numbers don't lie, officer. We have 1,000 ships. They have none. We have energy weapons. They have chemical explosives. We have shields. They have ... What?" "Determination, sir." Zara pulled up military footage. "This is from their conflicts with each other. Watch this human soldier." The video showed a human warrior, bleeding from multiple wounds, ammunition exhausted. charging an armored vehicle with nothing but a metal tool and what the translator labeled as creative profanity. The human disabled the vehicle. One case, Kethfer said, but his voice was less certain. There are thousands of cases, sir. Humans who fought impossible odds and won. Humans who survived in environments that would kill us in minutes. Humans who turned disasters into opportunities. Zara's voice grew quiet. Sir, the Galactic Council has a standing recommendation. Any species that encounters humans should approach with extreme caution, not because they're aggressive, but because they're unpredictable. The bridge fell silent. Kethfer stared at the planet below, and for the first time in centuries, felt something he had forgotten: uncertainty. Show me more, he commanded. Zara pulled up video after video. Humans surfing on waves that could crush starships. Humans climbing mountains that would challenge their best military equipment. Humans living in deserts that matched the surface. Temperature of some stars. Humans thriving in frozen wastelands that would flash freeze Nexari blood. They call this camping, Zara said, showing footage of humans voluntarily living in the wilderness with minimal equipment. They do it for fun. And this, Kethfer pointed to a video of humans jumping off cliffs with only fabric wings. Base. Jumping. Recreation, sir. This, freediving. They hold their breath and swim to depths that would crush most species. This, marathon running. They run for hours without stopping. Some of them smile while doing it. Commander Vex spoke up. Admiral, perhaps we should reconsider. If these humans are as dangerous as the classification suggests, we have energy weapons that can level cities, Kethfer snapped. We have armor that can deflect starship cannons. We have shields that can withstand solar flares. What could primitives possibly do to us? Zara hesitated, then pulled up one final file. Sir, this is from the Korthok expedition. They tried to invade Earth 70 years ago. The hologram showed a single, broken alien figure. The creature's eyes were wide with terror, its body trembling. When it spoke, its voice was barely a whisper. We thought Earth was a paradise. Green and blue and beautiful. We thought the humans would surrender when they saw our ships. Instead, they welcomed us. They smiled at us. They invited us to stay for dinner. The alien's voice cracked. Even after we started bombing their cities, even after we killed millions of them, they kept smiling. They kept fighting. They kept ... adapting. The recording showed the alien breaking down completely. We weren't fighting a species. We were fighting evolution itself. Earth didn't just create humans. It created survivors, perfect survivors. Every disaster that world threw at them, they learned from. Every catastrophe made them stronger. They don't just live on that death world. They love it. They call it home. The bridge of the stellar dominion was completely silent. Kethfer stared at the planet below, seeing it with new eyes. The swirling storms weren't weather patterns. They were training grounds. The tectonic activity wasn't geological instability. It was selection pressure. The dangerous wildlife wasn't a threat to the humans. It was their neighbors. Admiral, Zara said quietly, the Korthok expedition started with 500 ships. Only 12 returned. The humans didn't even consider it a war. They called it Tuesday. Kethfer's forearms trembled slightly. What are you recommending, officer? Sir, the Galactic Council has a saying about Class 15 Deathworlds. You can conquer a planet, but you can't conquer evolution. And on Earth, evolution wears a smile. The Admiral looked round his bridge, seeing the fear in his crew's eyes. These were warriors who had conquered nearly 1,000 worlds, and they were terrified of a species that hadn't even left their own solar system. "Begin the invasion," he commanded, his voice steady despite his doubts. "We've come too far to turn back now." Cesara's voice was barely audible. "We are the Nexari Empire. We have conquered 847 worlds. We will not be stopped by stories and classifications." Kethfer straightened to his full height. "All ships, prepare for orbital bombardment. We'll show these humans what real predators look like." As the invasion fleet moved into attack formation, Zara quietly activated a personal message beacon. If they survived this, someone needed to tell the galaxy what happened here. She had a feeling they were about to discover why Earth was classified as a Class 15. Deathworld, the planet below, continued its peaceful rotation, completely unaware that the largest invasion force in galactic history was about to test whether evolution could stand against superior firepower. In a few hours, they would have their answer. The reckoning, the first wave of Nexari ships descended through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars, their hulls gleaming in the morning sun. Admiral Kethfer watched from the bridge of the Stellar Dominion as his forces took positions over major human population centers. New York, London, Tokyo, Moscow, Cairo all would fall within the hour. "Sir," Communications Officer Brock reported, "we're receiving transmissions from the planet's surface." "Surrender terms?" Kethfer asked. "No, sir, they're asking if we need help with our landing." The bridge went silent. Kethfer blinked. All four of his eyes. "Repeat that." "The humans are asking if we need technical assistance with our atmospheric entry. They're offering to guide our ships to suitable landing sites." Brock's voice was confused. "Sir, they're treating this like a diplomatic visit." "Put them through," Kethfer ordered. The main screen flickered to life, showing a human face. The creature was middle-aged, with graying hair and laugh lines around its eyes. It was smiling. "Hello there," the human said cheerfully. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, Director of the International Space Consortium. We detected your fleet approaching our system. Beautiful ships you have there. Are you here for first contact? We've been hoping someone would drop by." Kethfer stared at the screen. "You... You're not afraid?" Dr. Chen laughed, a sound like musical notes. "Afraid? Why would we be afraid? This is the most exciting thing that's happened to our species in centuries. We've been dreaming about meeting other intelligent life for thousands of years. This is fantastic. We are here to conquer your world," Kethfer said slowly. "Oh," Dr. Chun's smile faltered for just a moment, then returned even brighter. "Well, that's unfortunate. We were hoping to be friends. But if you're determined to try conquering us, I suppose we'll have to show you around the neighborhood first. Fair warning, though Earth can be a bit rough on visitors." The transmission cut out. Kethfer looked around his bridge, seeing his own confusion reflected in every face. "Begin the bombardment," he ordered. The energy weapons of the Nexari fleet lit up the sky, raining destruction on the human cities below. Buildings crumbled, infrastructure collapsed, and fires spread across the landscape. "It should have been over in minutes." "Sir," Tactical Officer Nex reported, "we're detecting movement in the ruins. Survivors seeking shelter." "No, sir, they're organizing, and sir, they're still smiling." The main screen showed aerial footage of the destroyed city of Tokyo. Humans were emerging from the rubble, but instead of running in panic, they were forming organized groups. Some were rescuing survivors from collapsed buildings. Others were setting up medical stations. Still others were doing something that made Kethver's blood freeze. They were taking pictures. They're documenting this, intelligence officer, Zara said quietly. They're turning our invasion into a learning experience. Sir, Commander Vex reported, Landing Force Alpha is requesting emergency extraction. They're taking casualties from primitives with chemical weapons. Sir, the humans aren't using weapons. They're using everything else. Dex's voice was strained. They've turned their city into a maze of traps. They're using their own infrastructure against us. Every building, every street, every piece of debris is a weapon in their hands. Reports began flooding in from all over the planet. In New York, humans had somehow turned the subway system into an underground fortress. In London, they were using the ancient sewer system to launch surprise attacks. In Cairo, they had vanished into the desert, only to appear behind Nexari forces like ghosts. Sir, Zara said, pulling up tactical displays. Our forces are reporting that the humans are adapting to our weapons in real time. They're studying our tactics, learning our weaknesses, and sharing that information across their entire planet within hours. Impossible. They don't have quantum communication networks. No, sir. They have something called the Internet. It's even faster. Kethver watched in growing horror as the tactical display showed. Nexari forces being outmaneuvered by humans who shouldn't have been able to coordinate without military communication systems. The humans were using their primitive global network to share information, coordinate attacks, and even broadcast tactical advice. Sir, Communications Officer Brock said, we're receiving another transmission from the planet. Dr. Chun's face appeared on the screen again. She was standing in what appeared to be a ruined laboratory, but she was still smiling. Behind her, humans were calmly continuing their work despite the debris and smoke. Hello again, she said brightly. How are you enjoying your visit to Earth? I hope you're finding it, educational. Your cities are in ruins, Kethver snarled. Your people are dying. Why are you smiling? Oh, this. Dr. Chen gestured at the destruction around her. This is just Tuesday for us. We've been through asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, ice ages, plagues, world wars, and climate change. A little energy bombardment from space. Well, it's certainly exciting, but it's hardly the worst thing that's happened to us this millennium. You're insane. We're human, Dr. Chen corrected. There's a difference. You see, Admiral, I'm assuming you're the Admiral you made a fundamental error in your invasion planning. You assumed that because Earth is a dangerous world, humans would be easy to conquer, but you got it backwards. Earth is a dangerous world, so humans are dangerous survivors. The screen split, showing footage from around the planet. Humans were not just surviving the invasion, they were thriving in it. In the Amazon, they had melted into the jungle and were launching guerrilla attacks that would make military historians weep. In the Sahara, they were using sandstorms to hide their movements. In the Arctic, they were using the ice itself as a weapon. Every disaster that has ever struck our planet has made us stronger, Dr. Chen continued. Every catastrophe has taught us something new about survival. You're not fighting a species, Admiral. You're fighting for billion years of evolution's masterpiece. Sir, Tactical Officer Nex interrupted. We're detecting massive energy signatures across the planet. The humans are activating something. Weapons? Kethver asked. No, sir. It's their entire industrial base. They're converting their manufacturing systems. Sir, They're not just fighting us. They're learning from us. They're reversing our technology in him. The tactical display showed human factories that had been retooled in hours to produce weapons designed to fight Nexari armor. Research facilities that had been destroyed were already being rebuilt with improvements based on recovered Nexari technology. The humans weren't just adapting to the invasion, they were evolving from it. "This is impossible," Kethva whispered. "No," Dr. Chen said, her smile now carrying an edge that made the Admiral's skin crawl. "This is human. We've been preparing for this moment for our entire evolutionary history. Every predator that hunted us, every disaster that struck us, every challenge that nearly destroyed us, it all led to this moment. We're not just the survivors of a Class 15 Deathworld, Admiral. We're its chosen champions." The screen showed footage of human children playing in the ruins of their cities, laughing as they built makeshift shelters from Nexari wreckage. Adults were calmly preparing meals using energy sources salvaged from crashed ships. Elderly humans were offering medical aid to wounded Nexari soldiers. "You're not conquering us," Dr. Chen said softly. "You're becoming part of our story. In 100 years, our children will study this invasion as the day humanity learned that we weren't alone. In the universe, they'll learn about the Nexari Empire as the civilization that taught us about energy weapons and starship design and galactic politics. Your attack on us is already becoming the foundation of our expansion into the stars." Kethva felt something he had never experienced in his centuries of conquest: complete and utter defeat. Not military defeats. His ships could still level the planet, but something deeper. These humans had turned his invasion into their graduation ceremony. "Sir," Zara said quietly, "I'm detecting human signals being broadcast into space. They're not distress calls. They single quote invitations. They're telling other species about us, about the invasion. They're describing our technology, our tactics, our culture. Sir, they're sharing everything they've learned about us with the entire galaxy." The tactical display showed the broadcasts spreading across nearby star systems. Within hours, every civilization within 50 light-years would know about the Nexari invasion of Earth. More importantly, they would know how the humans had responded. "Admiral," Dr. Chen said, "you have a choice to make. You can continue this invasion and discover what humans do when they're truly threatened, or you can accept that you've already learned everything you can from us, and leave with the knowledge that you've met the most interesting species in the galaxy." Kethva looked round his bridge. His crew was staring at him with expressions ranging from confusion to outright fear. These were warriors who had conquered nearly 1,000 worlds, and they were terrified of a species that was treating their invasion like a research opportunity. "Sir," Commander Vex said quietly, "our forces are requesting permission to withdraw. They're reporting that the humans are. They're trying to make friends with our soldiers. They're offering them food, medical aid, and cultural exchange programs. And some of our soldiers are accepting," Zara added. "Sir, 3 of our landing parties have gone completely native. They're helping the humans rebuild their cities." Kethva closed all 4 of his eyes and took a deep breath. When he opened them, he was looking at a species that had just taught him the most important lesson of his career. Conquest was about more than superior firepower. It was about superior will. And these humans had a will that had been forged in the fires of the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. "All ships," he commanded, his voice steady despite his defeat, "begin withdrawal from Earth orbit. Set course for home." "Sir," Commander Vex asked. "We came here to conquer a world," Kethva said quietly. Instead, we've discovered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Not dangerous because they're violent, but dangerous because they're human. Signaled the Galactic Council. Add a new note to Earth's classification. Approach with caution, but, more importantly, approach with respect. As the Nexari fleet turned away from Earth, the planet continued its peaceful rotation. On the surface, humans were already beginning to rebuild, incorporating Nexari technology into their designs. Children were playing games based on energy weapons. Scientists were analyzing crashed starships. Artists were creating sculptures from the debris of the invasion. Dr. Chen's final transmission followed them into space. Thank you for visiting Earth, Admiral. You've given us exactly what we needed to take our next step as a species. We'll be sure to mention your contribution when we establish our first colony on Alpha Centauri. Safe travels, and remember, you're ever in the neighborhood again, you're always welcome. After all, you're part of our story now. The Nexari Empire had conquered 847 worlds. Earth would not be the 848th, but, for the first time in his career, Admiral Kethver felt like that might be a victory instead of a defeat.